We know Seven Spires from Frontiers, and Seven Spires is the best band on Frontiers.
And Novena.
Seven Spires is the best band on Frontiers.
Seven Spires is the best band on Frontiers. Check out Seven Spires. Greetings, humans. I'm Andre.
And I'm George.
And welcome back to the Windmill full of corpses. I'm hyped. Oh boy, we've been waiting on this one for a while. 4 days. 4 days is a while.
Yes.
A long while. 4 days since they announced it, and 6 hours at least, I think. Maybe more, since it's actually been up there and we couldn't get to record. So, I can barely keep away from my headphones.
Okay.
But, yes, I do first want to say, if you don't know Seven Spires, be sure to check them out. 2 albums. Solvate and Emerald Seas. They're both gorgeous. I'm going to be sure to link them somewhere. And check out their singer Adrian's Patreon. That's a really, 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 really beautiful thing. And you need it even if you don't know that yet.
Okay, what I want to say is that, typically when a band releases something new and I start scrolling through the comments, I'm generally annoyed that the fans aren't detailing on the song and giving some constructive feedback to the band and like that. But this time around, I'm actually happy about that because it means no spoilers. But there's actually a counter side to that, which is that on all fan groups and everything, all the Spiralings have been posting stuff about how annoying the song is. I'm like, guys,
About how awesome the song is, I think you meant.
I can't talk.
So, good thing is, we don't really have to. What we have to do is be yelled at. So, you ready?
No.
Perfect.
My boy, Dovas! Okay, we're gonna stop before our boy Jax. Yeah.
Oh, doing Jackie things.
Yeah. Okay, wow. Gotta piece myself together for a second. When it kicked off, my first thought was Flesh God Apocalypse.
Really?
And then my second thought was Karakangren, conveniently.
My first thought was just Dovas.
And I mean, this is something that you don't see in a lot of symphonic metal bands. Brilliant drummers. It's always orchestrals and melodies and spectacular vocals, but this is one of those bands that are like Ginger, where every single person in the band is spectacular at what they do.
Yeah, at least Dovas and Peter, the bassist, for those who don't know, they're into tech death. And I don't mean just they like it, they play technical death. So Dovas also has a killer side project, which you should check it out.
Mm-hmm.
This sounds different.
Yeah.
It sounds different from what I know from the previous albums. And the two albums were kind of different from each other, but this is, I think it's even another step up on technique and on sound as well.
It's, I don't know exactly what to make of it yet, because, you're getting those typical sorts of emotions and melodies throughout the chorus and with some of the more, I would say, wavy, sailorish orchestrals, but then through the verses, it's got that really dynamic, forward-moving feel, and I don't think we've heard anything that they've done before that felt quite like that. So I'd say this new version of Spires sounds kind of like Flesh God meets Spires. That's just me.
Okay, I get your comparison, and I like it. It's not exactly where I'd place it. For me, it's like, kind of like, they have this heavier songs like Drowner of Worlds, Paradox, whatever, and then they have the more, at least from Emerald Seas, like the more power metal, energetic songs like Succumb, like Every Crest, or whatever. And in this one, I feel like the verses are the symphonic black metal Spires, e.g. Drowner of Worlds, and the chorus is more like the bittersweet, emotional power metal Spires like Succumb.
Okay, I have plenty of thoughts, and we're probably gonna talk a lot in this one, but I think we should let it go first.
Yes, we're gonna get jacked.
I'm still not ready. They went on to confirm my Flesh God comparison 1,000-fold. Like this at the end, that was...
Yeah, it reminds me of the they have after each verse in the new song in No.
All of these sort of orchestral hits coming in and out like that, in sync with the riffs, that's a total Flesh God thing. I mean later Flesh God, because I don't know that much about early Flesh God other than The Violation, which is crazy. So, yeah, that. I mean, that's definitely the shock factor as far as I'm concerned with this song for any, I would say, Spires fan that knows Flesh God.
Or doesn't know Flesh God. I mean, if you're hearing Flesh God in another band without knowing it's like Flesh God, it still hits you like Flesh God. So, yeah, okay, let me get myself in order. So, I like what they did with the production, because I think it's more raw than what they had on Emerald Seas. I think it's got more of the black metal edge, at least on the drums, and on the way the riffs with the screams are kind of coming through. It seems more,
yeah, it's not
mushed together.
To me, it sounds a bit more like it's like they're playing in a tunnel.
like with the echoing kind of.
Yeah,
effects.
and I think the orchestras also bring in a lot of that, and I don't think we got that much of that on Emerald Season. It's also, you can link that to the artworks a bit. Emerald Seas was all, open space adventure.
Yeah,
sort
it
of
was
things.
out
This
in
one,
the sea.
yeah, this one looks like, I don't know.
Underworldy.
I'd say underwatery, almost a bit.
I didn't get that. For me, looking at the artwork and hearing the title, like the Cursed Muse, it, for whatever reason, it makes me think about Inferno mythology kind of stuff, like, Persephone, for example. It gets me towards that sort of motifs, and also the kind of statue-ish artwork gave me Septic Fleshy vibes.
Yeah, that also throws a bit to the cover back of... Bleh. That also throws back a bit to the cover of Solveig.
Yes, but so
It's different. It's different.
This feels more epic, dramatic, and dark, and Solveig seemed, well, it was an entire album, but it seemed more story-like to me, like what I called that album first time I heard it was the underworld version of Imaginarium from Nightwish.
Yeah.
So it gave me that fantasy mood, and here I'm not getting the fantasy so much. This seems a lot more dramatic and dark.
Yeah.
And like,
yes, okay, I know. This belongs... I don't know if you've ever seen the official video to The Forsaking by Flesh God Apocalypse. It's got like some dancers on a stage in front of a huge empty hall. Classic romantic era looking, I would say. And one of them dies, and it's got that dramatic feeling of tragedy, I would say.
Should I react to that?
Yes, you should. It's got one of the best piano themes in all of metal. And it's all throughout the song. But we digress. I had more thoughts. What am I missing out on? Pete. My boy Pete.
Yeah, the bass was coming through really strong.
Yeah, it's coming so much more forward than on Emerald Seas, from what I remember at least. I don't know Solveig well enough, but that was also probably the most underproduced because they were young and poor. So
yeah, they had sampled drums.
Yeah.
And here, what I would say I'm hearing here is the kind of drum writing that Adrian also put on her last two arrangements. I'm either gonna link them in the video or also in the description, so you see what I'm talking about. So those had sampled drums, but you could see it was the same writing style, and I think she's been taking drum writing tips from Chris. But here, I hear more or less the same drum style, but in actual organic drum sound, and it sounds so real, and it hits me in my gut.
Yeah,
I love it.
Okay, I'm kind of annoyed at the fact that I'm sort of a bit starstruck by how this song evolved, and I can't really put my thoughts together as well as I wanted to. Chris also did a lot of stuff that really got to me, and they're already a blur in my head, and I have to listen to it again. But looking at his style, he's got this way of fusing double kicks and death metal stuff into this sort of soundscape so effectively, because you could see how he brings in so much dynamic in the verses and then spaces out and leaves room for the chorus.
Yes, I love that.
When that syncs with the clean vocals coming in, it had such an effect, such a change in emotion instantly. I think you could see that on the face.
Yeah, I think the first time I had this sort of wow factor was when I first heard the Paradox. The Paradox has like two, I think, verses, all harsh, like Shagrath sounding. I call the vocals that Adrian sound on the Paradox are like her most similar to Shagrath harsh vocal performance to date, I would say. And then when it reaches the chorus, it all switches to cleans, and at the same time it switches from like galloping death metal drum beats and stuff to like a more spaced out effect. So it gave me a lot of that hint, like the switching from the verse to the chorus in this one was hinting to that in some sense to me. And also because this gives me the underworld vibe kind of thing, which I think was strongest in the Paradox from all of Solveig. And the one last thing I want to mention is the way they did the bridge section, like the solo flowing into the bridge and then back into the chorus it was just perfect, because the solo was pretty short and on point, and I actually didn't sink into it that well for some reason.
Me neither. No offense to Jack. Jack is brilliant.
Yeah, and it sounded good. It's just I've been like struck by so many things during the song that I gotta get back to it to hear all the details, and I don't have much left in my mind about the solo right now other than that it kind of struck me when it kicked. But then I loved when the vocals came back in during that bridge section, that there was just this kind of rolling, groovy tom work that evolved into a blast beat and then fell right back into the chorus. And that was just like a wave effect throughout the whole song.
Yeah, and that was the most Flesh God Apocalypse sounding part of the song. We're talking a lot This is gonna be long.
It's a Spires song. It's a lot going on. These guys, like, they're just absolute masters at their craft and really, really hardworking and really serious about what they do and absolute, just delightful people.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, they did a live stream on Instagram a few days ago announcing this, and they're just such a fun hang.
yes.
So, okay, this is, yeah, I would say, I thought of a phrase a few days ago that I thought best described the band. Let me see if I can remember it. I would say they are the best qualified band to add class to the metal scene. That's what Spires is to me. So,
yes, that says it pretty well.
And this song shows that they do that without any, well, I wouldn't say difficulty because I don't know how hard it was, but they're doing that seamlessly, and it works despite the fact that they're afraid to write happy songs, which is just one thing they have in common with Insomnium, apart from brilliant melodies. We're talking so much, we'll stop now.
Yeah, we won't stop now. I think Adria's grown even further with orchestrals.
Yeah.
It had more layers and it had more
dynamics.
Yeah, more dynamics and more orchestra hit. More impact.
Orchestras on all Spires stuff I felt were very much brought a lot of the emotional package to the music, but this time they also bring dynamics.
Yes, and impact.
Yeah, and they brought a lot of that bipolarity between the strong emotions in the chorus and then the intense dynamics in the verses too. And they add that with the orchestrals, which is something I don't think we got back either.
There have been pretty epic orchestrals on the orchestral tracks, on the outro tracks, on the other two albums, and also through the songs, but not as much as in this one.
Mm-hmm.
And one more thing, her harsh vocal delivery on this one, I think, was the filthiest. And by filth, it had some pretty bleh kind of stuff in there.
I mean, yeah, we don't mean filthy in a bad way because we...
No, when I'm talking about vocals, I like filth.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you've listened to Shadow of Intent, you know that filth is a good thing, so...
Yeah, that's a lot to take in, so maybe we should stop, because I'm just gonna keep getting thoughts now. There's a lot going on. Amazing song. I hope it means there's a new album coming. I know they've been working on it, but there's been no announcement yet. I'm seriously hyped. Let us know what you thought about the song, especially if you didn't know Seven Spires. I'd love to know. I'm turning people on to Seven Spires because they're one of my favorite bands. If you enjoyed this video, we'd greatly appreciate the likes and shares, and if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe with bells on. Thank you very much for stopping by. We hope you enjoyed your stay, and we'd love to see you back at the Windmill very soon. Corpses.